show the day after the election. Are you not surprised? Are you not surprised? Because we are. If Hillary loses and I lose and Daryl Terrell loses and everybody that was supposed to win loses, the fix is in. How did it happen? Welcome to the hot seat. I'm Donovan Sadiq. We're joined by Pastor Don, Daryl, the man Terrell, and we're going to talk about a few things that actually happened at the election last night. And again, congratulations to those who won outright. I think the only person that did that was Dave Marquez. Everybody else is suspect. I do not believe George Shultz lost to Evan Moron, who did not show up to anything, did not debate, did not campaign, didn't do anything. So it looks really, really suspicious to me. Special guest today, we have a young guy that is going to speak on the school board. He's a short-time resident, but a military brat. My nephew, Elijah Josiah, and he decided to join us because he wants to tell everybody how he feels about the Moreno Valley school system. And don't curse, don't do any profanity, okay? I'm just kidding. He doesn't do that. He's a good kid. Tell everybody, say hi.
Hi.
Talk into the mic. You got to talk into the mic.
Hi, everyone.
Okay. How old are you?
8.
What school do you go to?
Sunny Meadows Elementary School.
Did you vote in an election that came up?
Yes.
You did. See? Fraud. Fraud. Right there. There it is. There it is. There it is. Did you vote for your uncle?
No.
Why not?
I don't know.
Did you vote for Victoria Baca?
No.
Oh, thank God. If you would have said that, I would have had to go off mic and get my belt.
We'd have to get off the hot seat.
Yes, exactly. So moving on from that young man, Pastor Don, great to have you as always when you come on the show. The election on the national level, what did you think? I mean, I wasn't surprised because Hillary got handled by Bernie Sanders, which was an indication what was going to happen in the general election. I mean, people underestimated Mr. Trump. But again, feminism and because you're a woman is not, to me, enough to justify being president of the United States. What was your take on that?
Well, I wasn't surprised that Trump won. I think that some of those polls that were being publicized right before the election that showed Hillary, winning just about pretty much every state. There's a lot of folks out there that did not, publicize that they were Trump supporters because of fear of being labeled as a bigot or racist and other things. So, a lot of closet Trump supporters, and we thought that they went to all the rallies and stuff, that would they come out and vote, and they obviously did.
Right.
I read somewhere that about 75-80% of the evangelical Christians actually went out and voted.
Right.
And the majority of them, of course, voted for Trump over Hillary. So, was I surprised? No. Am I thrilled? Well, not yes and no. I mean, I was not a Hillary supporter because of her views on abortion. That
right.
really turned me off. I just pray that Trump is the man and he will step up to the plate and be the man that he says he thinks he can be. So,
okay. Now, let me ask you this. As a man of the cloth, a lot of people are very disappointed. A lot of Hillary supporters are disappointed. Some people are leaving the country. I'm leaving the city. But no, a lot of people are disappointed. I mean, could you give us some words of encouragement to tell these people, we have still one of the greatest systems, even though it's rigged, we still have one of the greatest democratic systems in the world.
Absolutely. Again, sometimes when we don't get what we really, truly believe is right, and it goes in a direction that's not what we want, that doesn't mean the world's coming to an end. That means that now we need to refocus. God puts in these positions the men or women that he wants. So what we need to do now, if Trump was not your person, we just need to get back to God. We need to say, we need to pray for the Trump administration. We need to support him, as Hebrews 13 teaches us, to support our leaders. First Peter also mentions about we need to respect and honor those in authority. We need to do that. If you're a Hillary supporter or a Trump supporter, we need to do that as the Bible teaches. And then we need to pray. We need to pray that we can accept the decisions of what God ordained. And then we just need to support this government. And you don't need to fear. God's in control. He's got this.
Right.
Trump winning was not a surprise to God.
Right,
so
absolutely.
we're all, it's going to be all good. We need to take a step back, take a deep breath, And let's see what God does with this new administration.
Right, like I said, for all we know, we're living in Sodom and Gomorrah. God sent Trump maybe to destroy the place to build it back up again. We don't know. Mr. Darrell Terrell, Mr. Moreno Valley there. You had your race, but we're going to talk about your race, but we want to talk about the national election. Were you surprised at anything that how it turned out?
No, not really, because I knew that, because people have to remember when President Obama came in office, it was a unique experience that it was the first time African American black president that people came out in droves and voted. So I was telling someone after when he first got elected that once he leaves office for 8 years, it's going to go back to the norm how it was, the voting pattern. Mm-hmm. So the people, when you have a person like the president-elect Trump in there, then you had a person that spoke to the working class, the things that people's anxiety, like their fear of losing their job, or the trade deals we have that a lot of these places like
losing our jobs. He only hires outside of the country and exports. But anyway,
he fed on people's anxiety because some of these people lost their jobs in the Rust Belt, and so he fed on that. And he fed on people's fears, the things that people were afraid of, or like I said, anxiety. So it was no surprise that the people that voted for President Obama in 2012 flipped back over and voted for him this time around.
Well, one of the good things that I have to say is now it is a Trump economy. So now you can't be blaming Obama no more. It's a Trump economy, so we don't want to hear no excuses. He has the Congress, so everything that he promised, he should be able to kick through and get started. But again, this is the first time we are having somebody that has no military experience and no civil service experience as President of the United States, and we're going to see how it works. So, let's just pray for him, and hopefully let's move forward with that. So, Darrell, let's talk about the local election. In your heat, you came in, I believe, third in your heat.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, I think third or fourth. Yeah, me and you came in almost the exact same thing. Now, was that a shocker to you? Because before you answer that question, again, a lot of people say the numbers do not add up, and all these Highland Fairview candidates got unbelievable numbers. And if you know anything about statistics in a bell curve, there's supposed to be a significant difference between the top player and the lower player. And in this election, if you look at all the cycles that has Highland Fairview candidates, all the candidates have similar numbers. And so there's something up. And what are your thoughts on the election?
Well, I gave all I could out there. I left everything on the playing field. And I thank those who supported me, voted for me, or I'm honored that they thought I could be a school board member. And yes, I am disappointed. And at the same time, because I thought I had the message, like your nephew here, to give him a chance at the American dream. And I thought I had the right message that people wanted to hear, and the district needed to change. And unfortunately, I guess they wanted the status quo. But, I congratulate
Miss Smith.
Miss Smith on her victory. And I like I said on my Facebook cast, I fully support her. But it doesn't, to me, I woke up thinking, what's going on here? Right.
Well, hey, you ain't the only one, brother. You ain't the only one. But let me give you some words of encouragement here. And because the way I look at what happened is it might be a blessing in disguise, because your reach, since you've been running, has gone over the county. You're on this radio show. So your message got out there to a lot of people. And I think that's important. And be it you be the Lone Ranger or that lone voice out there, I can only hope and pray that you don't go away. And like I said, we can do, what we're doing right now, what we can do is sit back and tell people, hey, this is what's going on, this is what's happening, blah, 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 and so on and so forth. So to me, it's a win-win. What do you think?
Well, as I said before, I thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak my mind about it, instead of having 3 minutes to talk about what I think is important. but also the fact that the many opportunities to converse about different issues, and I'm not going away. I've been here for 28 years, and I'm not going away. I'm still going to be involved. I'm going to be involved in the city, and like yourself, I'm going to hold my council person, which is Victoria Baca, and I will hold my mayor accountable, and he will be held accountable for his decisions.
Right.
But I thank you for what you have done,
Right.
and giving me an avenue to otherwise I wouldn't have. And I thank you for that.
Right, and let me tell you, when you control social media and you have a voice that is very powerful, to me, what we're doing is way more powerful than actually sitting on a seat. So Sean Fortine has joined us. Sorry about that, Sean. I keep messing that up. Sean Fortine has joined us, and he has a lot to say about the election. Before we get to Sean, I know I always facilitate this thing, but nobody ever asked my opinion now. The first thing I did was I got a call. And the call was from a LaDonna Jimson supporter. And the first thing they asked me, said, Donovan, did you see the results? Well, of course I did. I was the one that was posting them. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Well, what do you mean what I'm going to do? If anybody needs to do anything, it should be LaDonna Jimson. She's a council person. She's a fighter, correct? So what do I need to do? I mean, I did the best that I could. This is my second go around. So this supporter was blaming me for Victoria Baca winning the seat. And I said, well, how do you figure? I wasn't the one that was a bank robber. In politics, if you got big bones in your closet, that gave her the avenue to use that sympathy of, look, she blamed me. I wasn't charged with anything, but she's the criminal. That's going to change a lot of people's minds. And I don't know if, a lot of people might not agree with me. But I was kind of aghast, and it was kind of ironic that when they want something done, her own supporters came to me and said, Donovan, what are you going to do? Well, why don't you ask your candidate? What is she going to do? And if she doesn't contest these numbers, then she doesn't deserve to be a council person anyway.
Are you going to contest the numbers?
I went to the registrar and I requested the registration of the thing versus the number of people that are voting. They're still counting the absentee ballots and all the other ones like that. But again, that's all I want to do right now.
That Victoria Baca supporters didn't vote early, vote often.
Right. Yeah, and we're looking into that too. I got a secret message where Victoria Baca was having people come to her office and they were helping them fill out the ballots there. But on that ballot, if somebody's helping you like an IRS tax form, you're supposed to sign who you are that helped them do that ballot. And I almost guarantee you, they didn't sign some of those ballots. So we're going to look at that. But again, Miss Jimson should be the one challenging, because why would I challenge and she was second? I came in third. So for me to do all the work so that she can get the seat, do I look like Boo Boo the Fool? So we're not going to do that. So again, Daryl, you haven't lost anything. If anything, you have gained a lot as a community watchdog, and I think
you're still sorely needed on the county behavioral health board.
Yes.
I'm still going to be involved. Like I said, you guys inspired me, and I continue, and using this as a platform, being part of you guys' regular discussion, I will continue to be there, whether it's the city council meeting,
right,
whether it's the behavioral health board, or whether it's a school board meeting. I'm still going to be in the mix. I ain't going away.
I want to interrupt for a second, Daryl, and I apologize for that. But, I guess maybe I'm looking at it from a different angle. I don't think either one of you guys lost. Matter of fact, I think you guys both won more than you think. I mean, what does now the people know about Daryl Terrell?
Right, exactly.
There's a man who loves kids, who has a heart for people, a heart for kids, who really would do whatever it can to improve the situation in schools. Your name got out there, people know who you are, and they know that you're genuine. They know, they've seen your live shows on social media. They know your heart. What you've lost was nothing. What you gained was people knowing who you are and how you are a man of integrity, a man who loves children, and a man who's going to go forward in a huge way. So, Daryl, you didn't lose, in my opinion. I think you won big time. And then when it comes to Donovan, there's no question that this man did not lose at all. I mean, I actually told Donovan I was actually hoping he did lose because
You and a lot of people. I don't know what that's about.
because God has amazing plans for this man. I think He has amazing plans for Daryl too. I mean, and I'm starting a new church plant, and I'm going to need someone who's got a lot of children experience, and I'm praying that Daryl becomes a part of that. But Donovan, you didn't lose either. I know that the numbers look very fishy, but you know what? What do the people know about Donovan Sadiq? Is he's a winner. You are a man of leadership. You are a man who cares. You are a man who would allow a pastor on your show because you really do love the Lord. You know, you've proven to many people the different facets of Donovan Sadiq that I don't think a lot of people knew. And I just think that your future, Donovan, is so bright. Winning the election or not, I think God's got amazing plans for you, my friend.
But I wanted to win. Mom. I wanted to win. That's okay.
My biggest question is, what's up with Evan Morgan winning?
Wow, that is a question. This guy did not campaign. He did not show up to any events. But he won by, and he beat George Schroll by 4%, I believe.
Yeah.
4% of the vote. And, I mean, everything about that is just totally fishy.
Yeah, that doesn't add up. He didn't do anything he didn't even try to get the seat.
Right. But that goes to show you what happens when you have big money. Because like I said, if you look at the money that was given to these candidates, we live in a city where people say, oh, look at the pretty sign. I'll vote for that person.
Yeah.
You know,
well, whoever voted for him is going to regret that pretty fast.
Very, very much so. He
didn't talk to him on Facebook. He didn't even have a clue what he was going to do once he got there.
No,
it's like he's awaiting orders.
I honestly believe that I had like 4 vote splitters in my district. That Mr. Bendizi has a plan to have strategically placed candidates on the board. And you know, and everybody that's listening, don't lose heart. This is a 4-year term for Victoria Baca. I'm very sure she's going to do something stupid enough to where we will be doing another recall.
Yeah.
And it's just a matter of time. But again,
does anyone actually think that the police department's going to want to work with her? I mean, think about it. The only way that the police department's ever going to give her a ride along is if she's in the back seat.
Absolutely. Just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time. But now, let's heal the wounds of the city. Am I going to work with Victoria Baca? No, I'm not. I'm going to watchdog Victoria Baca very, very closely because I'm going to tell you, like you said, Pastor, she's a godsend because she gives me nothing but ammunition to talk about.
Yeah.
And I for the next 4 years, this show is going to be very, very lively, very, very funny, and we're going to be watching you, Victoria. So, and if I can get Chris to come on the show and dish some dirt, hopefully I will. But then, being brother and sister, he probably will go and take another white envelope and be back on the team. But that's his choice. But I do want to talk about this. We've talked about me and all the different things like that. Let's talk about what we did accomplish. One person that did not get elected, Denise Fleming from Chicago! You didn't win! And I told you weren't going to win. And I'm glad you didn't win. And I don't mean to say that to be mean. You are an unethical candidate. And
how did she get so many votes, too? That's another one. You know what? I really hope that most of the Represent Us people are listening, because I really hope that some of my liberal counterparts in Represent Us will seriously think about taking a second look at some safeguards in our election system to make sure that the only eligible people are voting only once.
Right, and then if you're going to be in Represent Us, you can vote for whoever you want to vote, but we got to stop backing candidates that aren't going to cut the mustard, all the way through. It's almost like a Hillary thing. For anybody to think that LaDonna Jimson was going to win re-election, you got to be out of your mind. She was a bank robber. I mean, that was a liability in itself. Hillary Clinton, FBI investigations, blah, blah, blah. You can go on and on. That is the wrong candidate to run. But the reason why I think Denise Fleming got all those votes is because she was willing to work with Highland Fairview because she was at the crosswords things. I can't wait to work with you. Mr. Bendizi, I can't wait to work with you. Give me the envelope. And that's how she came off. I'm serious. I was there. And this is what I knew. She told me, and again, I do not bluff. You don't ever tell anybody younger than you, especially a young person, that they're not electable. You can do anything you put your mind to. And if anything, you should be encouraging young people to get involved in the process because so many people are just disenfranchised. But I am very happy that this not the show, but me, myself, exposed Denise Fleming for who she is. And along with Denise Fleming, guess who else who was on my radar that hates my guts did not get elected after receiving $6 million in campaign contributions? Chevron Cheryl Brown lost to Eloise Reyes, who I supported. Eloise Reyes won by 53% of the vote. So Chevron Cheryl is out. Now you can take your Voice newspaper that was previously the Black Voice newspaper and go shove it. Because this is what happens to candidates that forget who they work for. You're going to be bounced out of that office quickly. At 70-something years old, Mrs. Brown, who is a best friend and good friends of Denise Fleming, you got what you deserve. Taking $6 million in contributions, and you supposedly represent the elderly in San Bernardino? Come on, man. Come on.
Yeah.
The
person I kind of wish was here was Millie Bailey, because
yes,
I really do hope she runs again someday.
I really do think she will run. Like I said, she's young enough to do it. I just think what she needs is a little bit more seasoning and maturity.
I think
this election will be a big learning experience for her, and rebuild from there.
Right.
Millie Bailey's got a huge heart, and she was represented well in District 3, and I hope she does too. I really do, because she's a good person, good woman. She has great ideas, and she just needs, like you said, Don, she needs seasoning, a little bit more experience. But I think she'll be good in the future.
Right, and as long as she isn't so naive. I mean, just because somebody tells you I'm going to bring all these jobs, do your research. Know what you're talking about, and that's one of the problems that Mr. Benvizi does. He preys on the ignorant.
And the naive.
And the desperate.
Right, and the desperate. So
I mean, some of the people he had supporting him, I mean, if I offered a better food drive, they would have supported me in opposing the project. I mean, it's like some of these people that he had there, especially the migrant types, they were just loyal to their stomach.
Yeah, exactly. And and I want to talk about this. I was a big supporter. The 3 candidates that I wanted, I thought were good for mayor, did not make it, and I'm shocked that Carrie Finn came in 4th. I believe she came in 4th.
Oh, lower than that, I think.
Yeah, 5th or something like that. Price, I'm surprised that he came in behind Denise Fleming. That was surprising.
Yeah.
But this also goes to show you this establishment politics and these endorsements by, you got to be careful who endorses you, because depending on your demographics, and I'm not saying, Price did the wrong thing, but this is Moreno Valley. And a lot of family members have family members that have encounters with the police. So that might not have been endearing to get that endorsement or whatever. But again, I'm just shocked that he didn't win. And
that's a whole other issue for another day.
Right. And the sad thing is, strategically, I really did. To me, he shouldn't have ran for mayor. He should have kept his seat in the 3rd district. That way, we would have secured that seat. Got the mayor, concentrated on the mayor thing, get somebody in there for mayor, and then have somebody in the 3rd district to get the majority. And and that's our problem here in Moreno Valley. We never stick together to fight this developer. It's always we break off and we go into these different factions and popularity and all this other stuff. I mean, to blame me for Victoria Baca coming back to office is ridiculous. For 2 years, I've been fighting Victoria Baca. I had her at a case 4 months ago that I almost had her convicted at. So I don't know where these people are coming with that. What are your thoughts on that, Daryl?
Same thing, but see, that's the thing, like you said before, because it would have been an easier situation if Councilwoman Jimson would have resigned at the time and ran.
No, I don't think she should have even ran because that thing was exposed.
Well,
she shouldn't have ran. She should have backed a stronger candidate. That's what I think.
Well, I'm just saying, but let the people choose.
Right.
But then, like you said, you had an option of endorsing or supporting the stronger candidate.
Because she was already a council person, so you made your goal. So just back up another candidate because all you're going to do is sit there and split the vote.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just my opinion, strategically.
Well, that's what I'm saying, because a lot of times when you did it to yourself, basically.
Right.
Because it's like a self-inflicted wound.
Right.
And you remember in the last election, every time Victoria Baca would get 1,200 or whatever.
She could never get over 30%.
Yeah, and so when you have a lot of other people in there, she's going to get whatever that base vote is.
Yeah, her supporters, her strong supporters.
Yeah, so that I could see that was going to happen,
and that's what happened.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happened. Because who are those other people, Norberto Perez and all these other people like that? I mean, and we all had the same exact numbers. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
I spent all that money on those damn signs, and they just got the same numbers I did.
Well, that's why I say it's probably important that we do go to a charter and have runoffs.
Right, the top two,
and have a 6th district council representation.
At least.
Right,
because this stuff wouldn't be happening if you have a 2-person race. This stuff wouldn't happen.
I was thinking we probably need more like 15.
Right. Something.
Yeah, because you need more representation, and there'd be less money influence on that person because you can't influence everybody if you have more districts and more representation.
Right, exactly. But of course, when you own the city, that's not going to happen. You're not going to let it happen. And I want everybody to watch what Idiot Gutierrez is going to do, because now, remember, he said he was going to serve a 4-year term when he got back on the council. Now we're going to have to either do a special election or they're going to appoint somebody to his seat. So we have to be very careful of what's going to happen there. So once again, we lose.
But also, we have a new makeup. You have Mayor Gutierrez, you have Gaiba, and you have Baca. Then you have Marquez. So you have 4 people, and you have maybe two aligning with each other. So we don't know how that may come out. Who in that district, if they do have an election or they appoint somebody, we got to make sure it doesn't happen what happened before. Someone comes to the meeting with a prepared speech and says, I didn't know this.
Right.
No.
Right.
This important process has to be transparent. And if people are not transparent, then they need to be held accountable.
Right. Absolutely. So we're going to be watching on that. But real quick, Mino Stereo, he's been in business 26 years, and he is expanding. If you have any car stereo needs, please go to Mino Stereo on Alessandro Boulevard. Also, we are here on Day Street at the Starbucks on Wednesdays. We're going to be moving into Edgemont Studios, so be advised of that. And we are moving to the hot seat. So after today, we are no longer going to be news from Edgemont. We are going to transition to the hot seat. Please go like and share when you go there. And Pastor Don, real quick, church plant, you got a GoFundMe account. Tell us about what's going on.
Well, I'm excited because this coming Monday, November 14th, is we're going to be having our first core group meeting for those that want to get involved in the on the front lines of the new church plant. And I know, Donovan, you're going to be there.
Yes.
And
God
I'm
willing.
praying, Daryl, that you decide that you could be there. We're going to be meeting at Renewal Christian Fellowship, which is basically in Edgemont, over there right by the animal shelter, right off of Ellsworth. And it's going to be a great night. It really is. It's not... some people are asking me, well, guys, what are we going to do? Just sit around and just...
toast marshmallows?
Yeah, read Bibles and stuff. Well, yeah, we are going to read the Bible, but I mean, what we're going to also do is we're going to have fun, we're going to laugh, we're going to have food, drink, we're going to get to know each other, and we're going to see exactly what the steps are to start a new church out there in the Rancho Belago area. So I am really asking you, if you have any interest at all in being part of a church plant that could expand God's kingdom in Southeast Moreno Valley, I'm asking you to please be a part of this gathering. It's again Monday, November the 14th, this coming Monday. It starts at 6:30. It'll go from probably 6:30 to about 8 o'clock. And it will be at Renewal Christian Fellowship over there off of Ellsworth Street by the animal shelter. And again, it will be a fun time. Bring friends, bring other family members.
Bring a notebook, take notes.
Exactly. I'll tell you, you're going to enjoy yourself. And you know what? You are doing some amazing work for God. And, a lot of people say, well, we got a church. I don't want to leave my church. You don't have to leave your church. You are on a missionary journey to help support another area with God's work. So don't look at it that you're being stolen away from a church. What you're actually doing is you're enhancing God's work in somewhere else. So please be there this Monday, 6:30, Renewal Christian Fellowship.
Okay, do us a favor and send us that information so we can post it. We're going to be posting that. And I want to help with the church as well. And I won't be able to, let's say I'm one of those people I can't show up, but I want to contribute. I've got $5. I've got, $10. Where do I send that?
Well, we just started very recently a GoFundMe account that I'm going to be basically advertising all over the social media. that allows you to be able to participate in donating funds for this church plant. And I really encourage you to do that. You may not be able to be part of the core group, you may not be able to be part of the decision-making group, but you could so much be a benefit and such a blessing to what God's trying to do there just by your financial donations to the church. So I will be posting that on Donovan's Hot Seat Facebook page, as well as Reflections Moreno Valley Church Facebook and everywhere else, so that if God touches your heart, we would love for you to be able to help us out in that way.
Let me ask you this real quick. I tithe at my church, but if I take some of my tithes and let's say I split it and I give it to your church, that's the same as giving to God His tithing.
Absolutely, right? You're giving back to God.
Right.
Again, I'm not saying that only because it's a benefit to the church plant, but yes, it's the bottom line is that you're giving back to the Lord. And you're giving back to the Lord. If you split it between your home church and a new church plant that's a Bible-based church that's going to bring people to the Lord, absolutely. I'm doing the same thing, Donovan. I guess I've got my own church in Bears, and I'm going to be doing the same thing.
Right,
So the answer is absolutely.
Okay.
So if you're willing to be able to, if God moves you to want to help this church plant, I would be so appreciative of that.
Right, yeah, and I wanted to kind of clear that up because some people think, well, I got to give all my money to the church. No, you're still giving to God. God said 10% of whatever you make.
Exactly.
But Sean, it's your week, so what do you got for us? I mean, what was your take on the national election?
I was kind of expecting Hillary to have a lot of questionable votes, and I was really expecting that the election would have to be... I was really expecting that the election would have to be contested like it was in 2000 in a bunch of states.
Yeah, because when I saw that Hillary was ahead initially, I said, watch is going to run the table right now. Because when I saw that map and it turned all red, the Democrats really ran a really bad candidate. You cannot... All she had was the Northeastern in California, Oregon, and Washington.
Or West.
Yeah.
The whole map was red. I mean, it's just, they have to come up with a new kind of strategy.
Yeah, some of them started out blue, but then the Republicans got that 5 o'clock bump.
Right, but this is what me and Daryl have been talking about, me and Pastor, and me and you guys talk about. Local politics matter. You've got to be informed with local politics. So all these Democrats out here, I call them Dummycrats, all the Dummycrats out here that are mad that Hillary lost, are you involved in your local politics? Are you involved in your local elections? Do you know who your state senator is? Do you know who your state governor is? And if you're listening to this and you don't know, you're part of the problem. That's why your candidate lost. Because local elections are more important than the national election. The Republicans are controlling states. Simple as that. It's as simple as that.
Also, the Democrats really didn't do their homework on Hillary either.
Well, I think they did their homework, but that meeting her and Obama had in 2008 when Occupy was running wild and stuff, they said, hey, let's put a blackface on this and watch what happens. All the Occupy whatever stopped. Oh, it's a black... And they promised Hillary, this is my opinion, they promised Hillary, well, you're going to run next time. Now, remember, she had 500-something superdelegates before she even had an opponent. The fix was already in. They had promised her, we're going to support you wholeheartedly, and it backfired in their face. Trump never hid who he was.
Yeah.
He never did. He never did.
And I think a lot of the Democrats' concerns are a little bit overblown. I mean, he was never accused of being racist until he ran for president against a Democrat.
Right. And and like I said, and the Dummycrats, when people want these problems addressed, illegal immigration, giving illegal people driver's license, these are the things that set these people off to where their base gets energized and they are going to change the narrative, and that's what they did. I mean, my hats are off to them. I'm not a Republican. My hats are off to them, but I mean,
I also think that Bernie really exposed Hillary.
Oh my
gosh! In regard to the Wall Street, the speeches and the corruption. I mean, Bernie did a good job at showing the people who Hillary is. And so when he lost, she thought that all the Bernie supporters.
Yeah, no, and she never captured the millennials. And that brings up another good point. The primary gives you an indication how that candidate's going to do in the general. You had a socialist, and a lot of these millennials don't even know what real socialism is, but you had a socialist, and she could barely handle that guy. That should have told you right there, this might not be the candidate that we need to run. Bernie beat Trump in every category. one-on-one, straight out. Why wouldn't you run that candidate? He could be president right now with that millennial vote. You know, and it's just sad that they let that opportunity go. But again, you know, we got to move forward. So I don't want to keep stoking the flames, but it kind of reminds me of our local elections. You know, here we ran LaDonna Jimson, who's basically our Hillary. You had too much baggage, but everybody supported her. And then here I am, the quote Bernie outside guy, who's doing everything, exposing everything, and Victoria Baca walks back up on the seat because we're not united in our strategic plan. So
I wouldn't call you Bernie. I mean, you have you actually like have a job resume. And,
oh yeah,
confidence.
That's true. I have accomplished a few things so like that. But again, Daryl, what is your take moving forward now that we have this? You're going to do another Facebook page, correct? So we can get your message out.
Well, yeah. See, I think going forward it's going to be based on the fact, as one individual said, is who had setbacks, and as I said before, had setbacks in their life, personal or political. And this is the way forward for me. He said this once. He says, the greatness comes not when things always go good.
Richard Nixon.
Yep. The greatness comes when you're really tested. You take some knocks, some bumps, some disappointment, when sadness comes. Because only you've been in the deepest valley will you ever know how magnificent it is on the highest mountain. So going forward for me is the fact, I had some setbacks, but I'm still going to be moving forward. I'm still going to be active in the community. I'm going to still be active in the county, and I'm still going to go to council meetings. And again, use your means to get my message out, and hopefully we could bring this city together. Some people say, why you want to do that? I say, well, for one thing, it's the kids' future we're thinking about. We're thinking about your future, and we also thinking about, as I said in my campaign, the American dream. I still believe in that, and I still have hope for this city. But we have to come together for a common purpose, all of us. Right. And even though we have differences of opinion, but I think it's still doable. I still believe in the city, and I think the city could be a great city if we are strong enough to stand up to the powerful and show the little people who work every day, like I do, and many people that's on this freeway, that we can win and we can come together for a common good.
Yeah.
One thing I also want to add is that we're still going to need people to pick up the pieces when people like Evan Morgan and Victoria Baca screw things up. I mean, it's not going to take long before people realize that Evan Morgan
totally unqualified,
just totally underqualified, no experience in that area, and there's
his DeVry University trade school degree. Wow.
Yeah, but there's going to need to be people that can step in and actually like set things right.
Luis Palomares.
No.
Okay. All right.
We're going to need people that can actually like set things straight when people like Morgan and Baca and Gutierrez screw up. I mean, yeah, it's gonna leave those three with getting all the accolades while other people step in to do all the hard work, but it's the only way anything's gonna get done in the city.
Right. I just want to say this, because a lot of people have been asking me, am I going to run again in 4 years? Am I going to do this? And I've done my civic duty, and I think that it's time that a younger person steps up. And I've already started to groom a young guy. He was a vote splitter this time. His name is Edgar Garcia. I met with him and stuff like that. Great guy, head on his shoulders. And I'm going to work with him and get him prepped and ready to go. We're going to bring him on the show and get his name out there so people could get used to hearing him and seeing him. And that's what we got to start doing, because again, these baby boomers, and I'm not generationally knocking people, but the fact of the matter is the same people that started the city are still in control of the city, like Miss Jimson. Again, I believe she cost us that seat.
Yeah.
And all because the baby boomers, and it's been proven, are a very selfish generation. It's all about them. I'll raise the grandkids. No, let us lead and step aside and let us make the decisions we need to make. And I'm not going to wait 30 years and let Victoria Baca just run on that seat, just because nobody wants to challenge her. I'm going to get challengers up there against her. Jaime Moreno, Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, young guy. He has the perfect name. I honestly believe that guy could be mayor one day. So I'm going to start working with those kind of people to prepare them.
Melissa Martinez.
Melissa Martinez, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know,
I think the only way Baca is going to be on that seat, is going to be having any say in city politics in 30 years, is if he's like making like secret codes from prison.
Secret codes from prison, and then with more surgeries, so she'll be like a mummified type person. That's kind of doing her thing. So, but like I said, everybody listening, don't lose heart. We got 4 years to deal with that. 2 more years, we're going to have another election, and that's going to be in District 2, the mayor, and District 4.
Yeah, it'll be nice to get rid of Gaiba.
Right. And in District 4, actually, we're going to have another election or something happening in a couple of months because we have to replace Idiot Gutierrez and what he's doing. So don't lose heart. And now that I'm saying this, if you're listening, those candidates who want to run in that district, you better start jumping up at something now and come on this show and contact me so we can get you going.
That was exactly what was good. I didn't want to interrupt you, but the one thing I wanted to say is, this show, The Hot Seat, has power. I mean, this show is going to expand.
Do you think Victoria Baca will come on?
I don't know about that. I mean, actually, if she was smart, she would.
Right.
Because she's
not.
It's an opportunity for her to be able to get challenged by some of her people that don't trust her, and then she can get her views out. I mean, she can actually get her voice out, but she probably will not. But I just want to tell you, like what you just mentioned, Donovan, is that if you're interested in District 4, because they're going to have to do something to take Gutierrez's spot, this show has got a lot of power, and this show, The Hot Seat, is going to expand. I know Donovan's got some major plans. I'm hoping I'm going to be a part of those plans to take this show and make it the voice of Moreno Valley. So I would suggest anybody who's interested in District 4 or anything for the next 2 to 4 years that they would contact Donovan and figure out a way how to get their voice heard through this show.
Absolutely. We're selling advertisements for $59.99.
There you go.
And no, just like that. But if you want to do a commercial, but hey, it's all about capitalism. That's what we're about. So I'm willing to bring anybody. I don't care what side you're on. If you're a Highland Fairview employee, I don't care who you are. I want to get you on the hot seat and ask the tough questions. And if you're avoiding this show, that tells me a lot right there, and I'm going to talk about it. So, again, it was a little disappointing last night. We got a lot of stuff to do. But, Pastor Don, in closing, do you have any closing reminders?
What I'd like to do, if possible, I know this is not a religious show. I get that. But, if it's okay with you, Donovan, I'd like to just do a very, very short prayer.
Absolutely.
I mean, I don't want to infringe on anybody who's not interested in prayer type life, but I think it's important that we kind of unite each other in regards to not only Moreno Valley but also this nation. So if that's okay,
it's okay. Absolutely.
Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, again, I just thank you for the opportunity that this man Donovan has allowed me to be on this show. So Lord, that we can not only discuss the political aspects of Moreno Valley and the nation, Lord, but we also can see the godly principles, Lord, of what we are needed to do through your word. And Lord, the first thing I ask, Lord, is that we would unite here in Moreno Valley in an ethical and moral way, Lord, that the leadership will come together in a way, Lord, that works for the people and not for their own self-interest, Lord. I just pray for this city. I pray for the leadership within the council and mayor and plus the school board, Lord, that they will see that how important their role is, that they work for the people and not the other way around, Lord. So I just pray for each of those leaders that you have put into those spots. And of course, from the national level, Lord, I pray for the newly appointed Trump administration, Lord, that, I pray that his speech, his acceptance speech is what his heart's really about, is unification, unifying this country, getting rid of the divide, and bring this country into the greatness that we all know it is. So, Lord, I just put him and his administration in your hands, Lord. I just ask you to strengthen him. Let him seek you, Lord, in his decisions and his cabinets and his Supreme Court justice appointees and anything else that he does. Lord, we live for you, we honor you, and thank you, Lord, for all your blessings. In the name of Jesus, amen.
Amen. Okay, that's the show.
For that,
Oh, no, there's no problem with that. That's the show for this week. Please do not forget, we are moving into Edgemont Studios. My cabinets are being installed right now as we speak. So the green screens are down. We're doing the whole reset up. It's going to be great when you guys come over because it is getting on cold. But this is the hot seat. We are at the Starbucks on Day Street here on Wednesdays, but we're going to be moving to Edgemont Studios. We'll give you the information. I'm sorry, did I say Edmont Street?
said Day Street.
Oh, okay, sorry, Day Street. That's the other one. We're on Fredericks, so there we go. Join us again next week. Short show today, but we're going to get to it. Thanks, guys, for joining us.